There comes a time when you grow tired of striving, tired of chasing after peace as if it's hiding just beyond the next achievement. You've done the work, you've pushed, hustled, sacrificed, yet still something feels missing. The Stoics would tell you, you're not broken. You're simply looking for peace in the wrong direction. Real power doesn't begin when you conquer the world. It begins when you learn to stop waging war against yourself. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled an empire, wrote in his journal not about victory, but about stillness. He said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This is where true manifestation begins. Not in desperate effort, but in the clarity that comes when your inner world becomes still enough to receive. Let these 8 principles remind you. Peace isn't something you earn, it's something you remember. Lesson 1, the surrender of control. Everywhere we look, we're told to take charge, to force, to hustle, to make it happen. But control is a fragile illusion. The Stoics taught that the secret to mastery lies in knowing the difference between what is yours to shape and what must be allowed to unfold. Marcus Aurelius called it living in accordance with nature. He didn't mean the forests or the stars. He meant the truth of how life works. Say quietly to yourself, "Not everything requires my hand." When you stop tightening your grip, you realize that life has its own rhythm, and it's far wiser than your plans. Surrender is not defeat. It's cooperation with the inevitable. Letting go isn't giving up. It's trusting that the current knows where it's going. Lesson 2, gift of presence. The mind is a wanderer. It lives in what was and what might be, rarely in what is. But the present moment is not small. It's infinite. Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." He understood that peace exists only here, in this breath, this heartbeat, this exact second. Presence doesn't demand that you escape life. It invites you to notice it. The warmth of sunlight on your skin, the rhythm of your breath, the quiet pulse of existence that continues even when you stop forcing it to. When you truly inhabit this moment, the noise fades, and what remains is clarity. A calm awareness from which all inspired action begins. The present isn't the opposite of ambition, it's the foundation of it. Lesson 3, the strength of acceptance. Life will test you, not because it wishes to break you, but because it wishes to reveal you. The Stoics faced loss, exile, poverty, illness, and yet they didn't collapse into despair. They practiced radical acceptance. Marcus wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." To the modern ear, that sounds poetic. To the Stoic, it was practical. They believed every obstacle contained the raw material for transformation. When you stop fighting what is, you free the energy to work with it. Acceptance doesn't mean you approve of everything that happens. It means you no longer waste your strength resisting the inevitable. The wound becomes wisdom. The delay becomes preparation. The loss becomes space for something truer to arrive. When life closes in, say gently to yourself, "This too is serving my becoming." Lesson 4, the quiet authority within. We spend years searching for validation, for someone or something to confirm that we're enough. But Epictetus reminded his students, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Power doesn't come from control over others. It comes from command of your own mind. When you stop letting moods, approval, or circumstance dictate your inner weather, you become steady, and that steadiness is rare. The Stoics practiced what we might now call emotional autonomy. They felt deeply, but they didn't drown in feeling. They observed, they chose, they acted from alignment. You don't have to silence emotion to be peaceful. You only have to remember that emotion is a visitor, not a ruler. When storms rise within you, whisper, "I can return to calm whenever I choose." That's not denial, it's freedom. Lesson 5. The wisdom of stillness. Our culture celebrates motion, more doing, more striving, more noise. But stillness is where true perception is born. The Stoics practiced daily reflection, not to fix themselves, but to observe themselves clearly. Stillness is not idleness, it's attention without struggle. When you pause long enough to see without judgment, clarity begins to rise like a tide. You start noticing that most of your suffering comes not from events, but from your resistance to them. In stillness, that resistance melts. You begin to see that you were never behind, never late, never less. You were always simply becoming. Let silence become your teacher. In quiet, the truth always speaks. Lesson 6. The warmth of gratitude. Gratitude isn't just a list of blessings, it's a way of seeing. Marcus Aurelius wrote that every morning we should remind ourselves that we will meet people who are selfish, unkind, or arrogant. And yet, he said, we must greet them as kin. That's gratitude at its highest form, not just for what is pleasant, but for what is human. Gratitude turns even suffering into sacred ground. It reminds you that beauty and difficulty often share the same breath. When you begin to notice the ordinary, the sound of rain, the scent of coffee, the softness of a voice, you step into a frequency of quiet abundance. You stop asking life for more, because you finally see how much you already have. From this awareness, everything you need finds its way to you, without the noise of asking. Lesson 7. The freedom of authentic living. There's a peace that arrives the moment you stop pretending. Most people live as actors, playing roles they never auditioned for. The Stoics, however, spoke of living in truth with oneself. Marcus Aurelius warned, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. When you begin to see through false measures, status, applause, comparison, you rediscover a gentler way of being. Authenticity isn't loud, it's honest. It's the quiet confidence that you no longer need to impress because you're finally at home in your own skin. When you live from truth, you stop chasing alignment. You become alignment, and from that space, peace stops being a practice and becomes your natural state. Lesson 8. The trust in timing. The Stoics called it amor fati, the love of fate, the art of saying yes to life, even when it doesn't match your script. Everything unfolds in its own rhythm. The fruit ripens not by demand, but by season. We suffer most when we confuse delay with denial. But delay is often life's way of preparing the soil. You are not waiting for life to begin. Life is waiting for you to trust it. Every unanswered question, every pause that feels endless, is an unseen choreography, moving you toward the right place, the right people, the right moment. When impatience stirs, remind yourself, I may not see the full pattern, but I am part of it. There is grace in not knowing. There is peace in trusting that what's meant for you has already started its journey toward you. You don't manifest peace by chasing it. You remember peace by becoming still enough to feel it. The Stoics didn't escape life. They embraced it, fully, quietly, courageously. They knew that wisdom wasn't about having no storms. It was about learning to be the calm within them. You are not here to force outcomes. You are here to align with truth, to move with grace, to let life move through you instead of against you. If you can do that, even a little, you'll notice something subtle but profound. Miracles no longer feel like miracles. They feel like the natural rhythm of a peaceful heart. To support this message, remember to like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear it. If this message resonated with you, leave a comment below saying, "I trust," and subscribe to this channel for more life-changing wisdom. Until we meet again, keep your heart steady, your mind clear, and your soul open to wonder.